It's time for our daily dose of cope. I'm sorry, I missed yesterday. There are so many stories to get to, and here's Suko the black cat. The face that she's eating today says, I thought you were going to make America great for me. What about me? Me! Oh my God. This shutdown is really harming folks, and MAGA is seeing how much the MAGA administration, these lawmakers and Donald Trump have no F's to give about them. Let's jump into some of these stories. We all love the how it started, how it's going from more motivation. It says, life is short. Let's look at these tweets. SB Inc. is resharing a Liz Cheney post, but the caption that SB Inc. says, we just protected the Constitution and democracy for generations to come by keeping VP Kamala out of the White House, as well as you. Question, why are you so bitter? For the last 4+ years, you've had resting bee face. Life is short. I suggest you evict Trump from your brain. So SB Inc. said that on November 6th. Fast forward almost a year, it's October 12th. This is what SB Inc. is saying to the real Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. I'm a diehard Republican who's voted for you 3 elections, even when it's caused division in my own family. Please extend the Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare. Please extend that. The premium support. My family and so many others depend on it. Keep healthcare great. He voted for somebody that had concepts of a plan. He voted for somebody that has said over and over that they want to get rid of it. Now they've stripped it. These people, I really think that the Trump administration and MAGA wants to see these people expire. We have another how it started, how it's going. This person at the top, Ian says, breaking, moving trucks have arrived at the White House 8 days before President Trump's inauguration. And to that, Melissa Dale says, Trump is taking the garbage out. That is Melissa. And that was January 13th of this year. How it's going, we're going to start at the bottom because it's March at the bottom. To the real Donald Trump. President Trump, I voted for you. Are you aware we are struggling? I'm a senior from Michigan and cannot afford food. The tariffs have raised dollar store prices now. Probably some gouging. Please help us. I'm going to think twice next election. Then July 17th, she says, real Donald Trump. Hey, President Trump, when are you going to lower groceries for us? Us seniors can barely eat. Do something. Forget about Epstein. He's dead. Help us who's alive. Please. We voted for you. Then October 13th, she says, real Donald Trump, please help us seniors. Could use some extra money. The economy is killing us. We voted for you. Remember, though, Trump is taking the garbage out. I say, I really do believe he and Stephen Miller just want to see a bunch of people expire. They don't give a good goddamn about poor MAGA, elderly MAGA, Medicaid MAGA, fixed income MAGA, veteran MAGA, black lung having MAGA. They don't give a damn. But these people voted farmers for Trump. They don't give a damn about these people. They want a bunch of people to expire. Another how it started, how it's going. So this is Kimberly. She says, Donald J. Trump made history. He overcame unprecedented challenges to even run for president. When he won decisively, and it is a historic event that will be studied and celebrated 100 years from now. The world will never forget Trump or what he did for country. Please allow the liberals to be a bunch of crybabies and sore losers because they lost. We won. God blessed America. All of the things that they thought we were crying about, they are crying about right now. Rasmussen's reports put out this tweet on October 9th. It says, voter remorse. 45% said it would be better if Kamala Harris had won. Many voters, including some who voted for President Donald Trump last November, now think the country would be in a better situation if Kamala Harris had won. The full story is in the comments. But to that, Kimberly, not even 1 year later, says, I voted for Trump. I 100% believe that America would be in a better position if Kamala won. I know I would be in a better position personally. I completely regret my vote and will never vote for another Republican again in my lifetime, ever. But the thing is, like I said, They really believe that liberals were just crying, that liberals were just triggered, and now they're poor. Now they can't afford food. Now their insurance premiums are doubling and tripling, and we told them so. And people like me, I don't give a good goddamn about them. I hope that they are stressed every single day, because when we were talking about it, they just thought that we were just, hair on fire, Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Yeah, now the sky is falling, and I hope that it falls on them first. I know it's going to fall down on all of us, but I hope it falls on them first. Sinking Fast posted this to the Leopards Ate My Face. He titles it, Trump Voters Unable to Thrive in Trump Economy, and he gives us 4. Cindy says, I'm one of the biggest conservatives and Trump fans there is, but prices are out of control. My husband and I used to be what we thought was upper middle class, and now, with insurance premiums, groceries, and property taxes, we're struggling. Not Trump's fault. It started under Biden. We need help. Not Trump's fault. So that's the thing. This type of person won't get it. All right, let's look at what Jay Matthews says. Jay Matthews says, I'm a Trump voter, and I just don't care about the Nobel Prize or the cover of Time magazine. Fix our economy. Lower gas and food prices. You're a 2-time POTUS. It's enough. Peace deals are great, but fix home before you help your neighbors. Common sense. And then we have this person, G. This person says the same. Groceries are still way expensive. Why is no one talking about it? The bread is $5. Fleur is $7. What the hell? Electricity is way up. Not kidding. I love Trump, but do something. I don't think Dems would help it ever. Well, it doesn't. That's the reason why I say I don't care about these people. They need to hurt for 3 to 7 years because they still are blaming Dems. Patty says over here, I'm Republican since birth. Urgent, President Trump focuses on gas, groceries, and electricity. We are hurting. These things are not cheaper. His voters need help. He can't help voters because he's out here being petty and just filing lawsuits and firing folks. He can't help people, and he does not care. That's the thing. How's he going to help folks and he don't give a damn? Now I want to talk about this article out of the Washington Post. It says, why Republicans' attempts to kill Obamacare keep backfiring. The White House and some Republicans are growing nervous that Democrats' demand to boost Obamacare as part of a government funding bill has salience with voters. Washington Post is behind a paywall, but MSN posted it. It says, Republicans have tried more than 70 times over the past 15 years to weaken or kill Obamacare, but their campaign keeps backfiring. The sweeping tax and spending bill President Donald Trump signed this summer got his party closer to that goal than ever before. Though never marketed as a repeal, it unraveled much of the law and is expected to eventually push millions of people who gained insurance since the ACA passage off the rolls. Even that legislative achievement is proving politically fraught. As the partial government shutdown stretches into its second week, the White House and a growing number of congressional Republicans are worried that the Democrats' demand to boost Obamacare as part of any bill to reopen the government is proving salient with voters, including their own. Republican voters will be disproportionately hurt by a spike in health insurance premiums if the measure is not included, and many of them are well aware of what's at risk. Democrats have said they will not vote to fund the government unless Republicans agree to extend pandemic-era subsidies passed under President Joe Biden that help low and middle-income Americans purchase health insurance on the ACA individual marketplaces. The subsidies are set to expire at the end of the year. Republican leaders have said they are willing to discuss extending them, but only after the government reopens. Democrats are betting on one of two things. Either Republicans cave, realizing the issue could cost them in next year's midterm elections, or they stand firm and let Democrats use what has been one of their strongest issues to retake control of the House. Millions of consumers on the individual marketplaces have already received notices that their premiums are expected to spike next year as open enrollment begins November 1st. More than 4 million people are expected to lose health insurance over the next decade if Congress does not extend the subsidies, according to estimates from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. Longtime Florida insurance agent Alan Reynolds, 65, predicts many of his customers will allow their policy to lapse when the price hikes become clear. An independent who leans conservative, Reynolds of Port St. Lucie, called the ACA flawed, but said he favors the continuation of the enhanced subsidies and not pulling the rug out from under people. His family is also affected. The loss of his wife's subsidies means she's likely to pay about $1,200 or more each month, up from about $500 in 2024, he said. I voted for Trump. I didn't expect this. I don't know why, because Donald Trump has been trying to get rid of, oh God, these people. All right, let me continue. I'm sorry. More than half of enrollees live in Republican-held congressional districts, according to a report published Monday by KFF, a health policy research organization. Enrollment in individual marketplace plans has more than doubled to 24.3 million people since 2020. The subsidies have helped people in a handful of Republican-led states most. In Florida, for instance, there are 10 congressional districts where at least 20% of the population is enrolled in a marketplace plan, according to KFF. The top 5 congressional districts by marketplace enrollment are all in Florida, according to the report. As hard as it was for Republicans to try to weaken the ACA back in 2017, it's even harder now as enrollment has grown, particularly in Republican states and districts, said Larry Levitt, Executive Vice President for Health Policy at KFF. In some ways, if Republicans had just left the ACA alone, it might still be unpopular. Every time Republicans try to weaken Obamacare, support for it solidifies. This is some of the comments underneath that Washington Post post. So this person says, I didn't expect this because I'm addicted to identity politics and didn't care to pay attention to the evidence of my literal eyes and ears. And then the next person says, the Republican Party has always said they wanted to get rid of Obamacare. This is what he voted for. And then finally, the mod who shagged me said, conservatives have fought tooth and nail to stop healthcare reform from passing since the pre-ACA debates and death panels for grandma and Palin Tea Party types protesting at their local VFWs. They've never been supporters of government-provided healthcare or insurance. The thought of private companies not profiting off our ailments, disease, and treatment appalls them. But the thing is, yes, oh my God, we are in the death panels right now. The death panels that they were talking about, we're in that right now because so many of these Republicans are about to let their constituents die. Now I got a couple of other videos following mine. A man is speaking about the special ed programs that are being cut. And this is what they wanted. They wanted the Department of Education to fall, and it is falling. So I'm going to let him speak on that. And then it's very, very interesting. So many people are talking about the prices of the Texas State Fair. People don't have as much money to spend, and Texas is seeing what is going on. People can't come out there and spend money on these exorbitant prices. So I found a couple of videos regarding that, and I'm going to play those after this. Go ahead, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all this. Like, comment, and share.
You want to know what they're cutting now? Special education. The office that protects kids with disabilities. Gone. The Department of Education's Office of Special Education Programs, the one responsible for making sure children with autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, and other disabilities get the help that they need. They just had massive layoffs. These aren't just desk jobs. These are the people who enforce the law that guarantees every disabled child a free and appropriate public education. They handle the funding, the compliance, the oversight. The lifeline for parents already fighting an uphill battle every single day. And now, most of them are out of a job. Officials are saying that states can manage it themselves. Really? Most states are barely hanging on now. What happens when those funds stop flowing? When the aides, the speech therapists, and the adaptive tech all disappear because nobody's left to process the grants? You can't call yourself pro-family and then pull support from the kids who need it the most. You can't say you're protecting American families while you're actively destroying the one program that protects the most vulnerable. This isn't cutting red tape. It's cutting the safety net. Parents shouldn't have to beg for their kids to get what the law already promised them. This is serious.
Hey TikTok, I decided I would show y'all some of the fair prices this year for 2025 for this Texas State Fair. So here's a couple things. I've showed a couple items that I did get. First of all, it's $30 to park. It's $1 for each ticket. This is some of the things they had. So a hamburger is $14, a cheeseburger is $16. They had the fried sneakers. A turkey leg is $24. They do have this turkey leg is $25. A beer was $18. Some birria tacos were $16. To ride a pony was $10. Nachos were $10. A quesadilla was $17.
Hey, nobody went to the Texas State Fair. Nobody. Okay, I've lived in Texas for 50 fucking years. No, this has never, ever happened, ever. Remember when big techs burnt down to the ground? I do, and then they had to get a new big techs, and next year it was a whole big production because we had a new big techs. I do. Okay, there are videos floating around of the state fair, of the Texas State Fair, and it is so fucking empty, it looks like the park hasn't opened yet. I'm in shock. I read some of the comments. One guy goes, yeah, $24 for a turkey leg. Not done. No, not gonna do it. $24 for a goddamn turkey leg? Seriously? And the state fair people said, sure, $24 for a turkey leg sounds on point. Wow. The other comments were, everybody's fucking broke. Nobody can afford to do anything. No one can afford to go spend, a weekend with their family at the state fair anymore. The state fair was supposed to be the place that you could take kids to on the weekend. Nobody can afford it anymore. And then half of the comments say, it's Texas. We all look a certain way. We don't want icy conditions on our weekend getaway. And then the other half of the comments are talking about, random pew-pewings and how Texas does nothing to stop them. And so we will no longer be going to any public venue thing like that.
Hold on there, partner. Did you say they're coming after black people next? They started with us. Like, they've been snatching black people off the streets. It's called stop and frisk. They've been raiding black communities forever. They're just finding new reasons to do it. We told you this was our fight too. We told you everyone would be affected. We told you that. We told you this would happen. Trump told you this would happen. You said we were fear-mongering. You said that you were ready for a fight and to burn it all down. You said we're already living under fascism, so what's going to be different? We are not the ones finding out after fucking around. You fucked around with your vote and are finding out that we actually do all have to suffer now. How many of y'all said if Palestine has to suffer, we should too? It's what America deserves. I thought this is what you wanted. You're not about to blame the current state of things on the people sitting demonstrations out. This is a result of your protest in November, not ours. Had we joined in on those protests, it still wouldn't have prevented these ICE raids. There was one way to prevent things things from escalating to this point, and you guys opted out. The fact that I'm hearing you guys say, guys, we have to start organizing. We have to start breaking the rules. Look at what the French did. Why is it a year after you called for this revolution, for this fight, and you're just now realizing you actually have to fight? Like, outside of protesting, you have to break the rules. You have to break the law. You have to be willing to lose your freedom and go to jail. You thought building community was a revolution, didn't you? That's cute.